4 years, 3 months, and 14 days. That was the life of the Wii U. A painful 1,565 days for Nintendo's highest profile failure. Let's see how old the Switch is to emphasize this point. If I'm uploading this video on time, it's 2,086 days old. The Wii U's age, when it died, is younger than its successor on its 10th anniversary. That's just sad. On this day, as I give you your guy who talks about Nintendo on the internet mandated Wii U 10th birthday video, I want to lament the loss of the Wii U. Look at the good and bad from the era, and take a trip down memory lane as I remember my time with it.
Welcome to the world of Wii U. It's a system we will all enjoy together, but also one that's tailor-made for you. It's different from anything you've played before.
From what I saw, Nintendo first mentioned its successor to the Wii in 2011 before fully announcing it at that E3. I'll always have nostalgia for the Wii era of Nintendo. If you watched my video on Halo, you may remember that I pinned me being diagnosed with gamer around 2009 when I got my 360. I still had a love for Nintendo, despite not really playing on the Wii at the time. Skyward Sword was one of the first games I greatly anticipated, and I couldn't stay away from news about the successor to the Wii and DS. Two systems I spent a lot of time with growing up. That was also the time I started to be aware of what was coming out. Up until then, I would kind of just stumble upon games. I still remember finding out one day a new Paper Mario game existed. It was so mind-blowing to me because the original was my favorite game growing up. Same thing happened when I saw Super Paper Mario at a Blockbuster. Being into games and now following news, of course I was pouring through YouTube to find anything. When the Wii U hype cycle started, I was so in. I went to the heart of downtown Toronto, Yonge and Dundas Square, just to play it before release. I was paying attention to every drop of Nintendo news I could find at the time. I remember Nintendo had a countdown to the release on their site, and I saved that tab as an app on my phone, so I could always be one tap away from it. I was stoked when I picked mine up. I got the Black Nintendo Land bundle, picked up a copy of New Super Mario Bros. U, and Zombie U. Looking back on it, it's crazy to think there was a point in time that I was worried I wouldn't be able to get a pre-order for it. Messed around with Nintendo Land a bit on launch day, played some Zombie U. I spent most of the day playing Mario U. The second 2D Mario I bought that year. I didn't even take that in until years after and somebody brought it up in a video. I should have figured out that the Wii U was going to fail on launch day. When I got my Wii for Christmas, I had family friends over to play it. Basically spent the whole day bowling with them until I had to go to my grandparents, where I spent the whole night bowling with my family. The Wii is easy to grasp and people cared. The Wii U was harder to explain and no one cared. With every system I've gotten at launch, someone has asked me about it. I don't remember that happening with the Wii U. It took me like a week or two to get people over and try out Nintendo Land. Even longer to get a full group of 5 people as God intended. Which brings me to my first disconnected point that can go anywhere in the video. What the fuck is this? The beauty with the Wii is that no matter your level of video game literacy, you just get it when you hold a Wiimote. It's the video game equivalent of those oversimplified TV remotes that are made for old people. You hold it sideways and it's a lot like a NES controller. Its flagship game, Wii Sports, is dummy easy to understand. You know bowling? Throw it like that, but don't let go of the controller. You know golf? Swing it like that, but don't let go of the controller. You know tennis? Swing it like... Okay, you get the point. The Wii U had no such simple game. As much as I love Nintendo Land, going for the market it does, it couldn't do what Wii Sports did. You don't hold the gamepad and everything clicks. It's basically a modern controller with a touchscreen on it. You can get your grandmother to understand Wii bowling very easily. Moving away from something as universal as sports hurt this game. If you show your grandmother Donkey Kong Crash Course, I don't think it's going to go as well. The only game that's simple enough for a casual market and does a really good job of showcasing what this thing can do with multiplayer is Mario Chase. They're all more gamey than Wii Sports, which is good, but I think it should have launched with Wii Sports Resort 2 instead. Keep it to the universal idea of sports. Add some gamepad stuff to the returning sports to show some progression. Add new co-op or versus ones that take advantage of this gimmick. You could literally copy and paste Mario Chase into this idea and call it tag. I feel like it's a bit easier to do that with Chase than the other ones. So yeah, the Wii U launched with a whimper. And it continued to whimper for the next 1,565 days until it was buried with a layer of dust.
Ooh,
Boy, those launch months were rough. With my 3DS, I was stuck with Super Street Fighter 4 3D until Ocarina of Time 3D launched a couple months later. 3DS releases started picking up, and then in 2013, Nintendo decided to pop the fuck off. With the Wii U, I started out better, owning 3 games. By the end of the year, I downloaded Scribblenauts Unlimited and bought Mass Effect 3. But I didn't finish any of them. The first thing I really enjoyed on Wii U was set to be its first big third-party success, the Rayman Legends demo. This was my first experience with the Rayman series since renting 2, but that was so long ago I barely remember it. The first level is such a good showcase of what that game is. The Black Betty level? When I first played that, that was the most fun I've ever had in any level in a 2D platformer. That demo had such a big impact on me, I can tell you the exact situation I was in when I first downloaded it. It was the day it came out, I was super excited to download it because what Ubisoft showed off at E3 looked fun, and I was desperate for anything to play on Wii U. I didn't download it until sometime after dinner, and my parents were going to a Christmas party. The only lights that were on in the living room were the ones on the Christmas tree. And I think I also downloaded the demo for the new Sonic Racing game at the time. It was fine. It's weird how things like that can just stick with you. I was already upset that the game got delayed out of launch. But you know, let it cook. I think what made that delay hurt is that I had a multiplayer game I couldn't really get anyone to play. And my sock is inside out. And a zombie game I didn't finish. Oops, I don't like roguelikes. Finishing up the year, I had 5 Wii U games. I only beat one of them. Shoutouts to New Super Mario Bros. U for being the launch title I got to enjoy the most. I did grind the fuck out of Nintendo Land over that winter break. Unlike the Wii, I didn't bring it to my family's house on Christmas Day. No one cared and I didn't want to force it on people. Everything was quiet on the Wii U front until February 7th, 2013, the day Rayman Legends got delayed. This Wired article about it made me remember that Nintendo had to delay a lot of games out of the Wii U's launch window. Shoutouts to the second disconnected point that can go anywhere in the video. Remember when Nintendo learned how hard it was to make HD games and they delayed a lot of projects because of it? That revelation is very weird to look back on because the entire industry had it 1 generation ago. It's kind of funny in hindsight. Sucks for the Wii U though. Back to Rayman Legends. I lied. Not back to Rayman Legends. I wrote way more than I was expecting to for this video, but I'm doing a video on Legends next September, and I kind of don't want to repeat myself. The video's long enough. I can dedicate time to tease something I won't make for a year. Fuck man, that delay hurt. Then I got Lego City Undercover in March, and I'd recommend it. It was pretty fun. Rayman was truly a sign of how rough things were going to get. Pikmin 3 ended up being the first Wii U game I bought that I thought was phenomenal. It was the 3rd game I bothered to finish on the console. For something I was very excited for, to finish so few games in that amount of time is a failure. Thank God the 3DS was having such an insane year in 2013 because it did not feel like they were fucking up as much as they were. I think no console will ever have that record beat. By the time it turned 1, I finished 5 games. I beat that many Like a Dragon games in the year of the Series X's launch. And I was playing other stuff on it too, but it's fine. By the end of the year, the Wii U started to, I was going to say pick up, but that kind of implies that they ever had a pace to begin with. Rayman Legends finally came out, and it was even better than I thought it would be. Wind Waker HD sailed right into my heart. When I got into Zelda games, it was a year or so before Skyward Sword came out. Naturally, being a middle schooler, I was in my fuck Wind Waker phase. Ew, get this cartoony Zelda out of here. Give me my cool, dark Zelda. When I finally played Wind Waker, I realized how dumb I was for judging that game as hard as I did. Zelda fans are 0-2 for understanding that a console's tech demo doesn't equal what the next game in the series is going to look like. Wind Waker is just one of those games that I just think about randomly, then conclude the thought with, yeah, it fucking slaps. Slaps so much, I skipped over the release of Wonderful 101, a game I did not get, but always looked like it used the gamepad gimmick in a cool way. Sonic Lost World landed on the first birthday of the Wii U, and that crossover DLC was neat. Hopefully that Sonic deal will bring some solid exclusives. The end of the Wii U's first year, and the starting bit of the second, was filled with stuff I honestly thought came out later. You could have told me 3D World came out in 2014, and I would have believed you. I think that really speaks to how forgettable the first year was. Just feels like a 2-year void in my mind. Maybe the reason why it didn't feel as bad as it did in the moment was because they had a really good E3 that year. At E3 2013, Nintendo talked about Pokémon X and Y, Mario 3D World, the start of the endless now that is Mario Kart 8, where's the rest of the DLC for Deluxe Nintendo, Wind Waker HD, Wonderful 101, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Bayonetta 2, Xenoblade Chronicles X, and Super Smash Bros. 4. Wow! If you put the latest game in all of those series in a Nintendo Direct now, it'll be like the best Direct ever. Much like with the Rayman Legends demo, I can tell you exactly how I just spilt water on my green screen. Much like with the Rayman Legends demo, I can tell you exactly where I was during that Smash trailer and how my day went afterwards. I was in school watching it in class. It was the last day, so it didn't matter. A buddy beside me was half watching the Direct until the Smash trailer started. General hype ensued. At the end of the trailer, when it started to tease Mega Man, he said, "Is that Ryu?" And I replied with, "Nah, I don't think they would ever put Ryu in Smash." Was wrong on that one. Then we lost our shit when the helmet came on and the music started. Unironically, me and him in the classroom. After school was done, I was texting a buddy about the announcement, went to his place, and we decided to do a run of Subspace on the hardest difficulty to celebrate the announcement. We stopped at like 4 in the morning in front of the final boss because we were tired. Sometime the next day, I shambled on over and we finished it. A lot of people talk about the hype cycle for Brawl and checking the Smash dojo. I wasn't into gaming news at that time, and I don't have an older brother, so I didn't know that was a thing. Checking the Smash pick of the day was my Smash dojo. I did that shit daily, man. I just had to be the first to the news if they dropped a new character. I remember I saw Luigi's and maybe Jigglypuff's announcement at Canada's Wonderland. It was raining and I was in the candy shop by the bat. I don't fucking know why I remember that. I just do. I also associate a Kiss concert with the Smash pick of the day. My dad won tickets to it, and I checked the site there. God, I love Smash 4's hype cycle. But I wasn't playing anything on my Wii U at the time. So, in that last line, I accidentally wrote Switch instead of Wii U. Really speaks to how much more memorable the Switch is, eh? I took a day break from writing this video, and my mind was like, yep, the console we're talking about is the Switch. Anyways, next gen was on the way, and the Wii U's biggest exclusive of the year, Super Mario 3D World, was launching on the same day as the Xbox One, as did Link Between Worlds for some reason. Maybe don't drop both of your platforms' biggest games of the year on the same day? I still got them both, but I was, and still am, a dumb idiot. Ignoring me picking up both games and checking my receipt for an Oracle of Seasons code that came with pre-ordering A Link Between Worlds while being surrounded by Christmas decorations in a mall, I am bad at names, and it's because of nothing memories like this. The most important thing of this whole story is that I was the only person in line getting 3D World. The console that killed Xbox's reputation in ways that still can be felt to this very day was selling better than the new 3D Mario game. The most memorable thing about it for me was how I 100%ed it. You have to beat every level as every character, and I was playing it alone because it was a game on Wii U. So I got 4 controllers, ran through the entire level as one character. Once I got to the end, I would turn on all of the controllers. I picked up player 2 as player 1 and jumped into the flagpole. And then I did the same thing with player 3 and 4. I was a cool person who didn't have the time to play through each level 5 times, okay? And then 2013 ended with a few good third-party games and 5 first-party games. One of which was Wii Party U, a game I regret redeeming through Mario Kart 8, and I really wish I just got a Wind Waker code and sold it instead. And the other one is Game & Wario, which is Game & Wario, so you know. Yikes. From June to now, I've gotten more first-party games on Switch than I did throughout the entirety of 2013 on Wii U. To be fair to Nintendo, again, the 3DS was popping off super hard at the time. They were a company focusing on the output of 2 systems instead of 1. To be critical of Nintendo, they did a poor job of balancing the 2. I'm beating a dust-covered horse right now, but I'm hammering this point as much as I am because this is how the Wii U lived and died. Long gaps of nothing. What we were getting had a pretty solid hit rate, but most third-party games were late releases with bad gamepad gimmicks, or just used it as a glorified mini-map. An observation you've probably heard so many times. Nintendo does have that exclusivity deal with Sega and Sonic, so hopefully we get something bigger and better than Lost World next year. Whatever it is, it can't be worse than 06. February brought us Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. Truly a game studio operating at its peak, and that was the last game they shipped. The Wii U just can't have a win. I just need a laugh, man. Time for the third disconnected point that can really go anywhere in the video. I miss Miiverse. It was a shit show and I loved it. The idea of having a built-in social media on your console kind of makes sense in 2013. Now I feel like adding Twitter would suffice to help save a dying platform. Don't get any ideas, Elon. I want this joke to be irrelevant by the time I upload the video. Honestly, describing it as a social media doesn't really feel accurate. If something like this got super popular, it would be a great way to look up something on a game while completely avoiding spoilers, assuming the moderation was good. Which it wasn't. Did you guys ever watch a Miiverse love story? That was so funny. It's up there for me in terms of internet cringe. I hope they're doing fine. If that whole exchange happened on any other social media, I would think it's fake. But happening on Miiverse, something that's a pretty pure platform, I believe it. Go watch it after this video, I'll link it. I remember watching it in my buddy's kitchen when I was going down that Rayman rabbit hole.
Why didn't I say rabbit hole? It was right there, man, come on.
I found a video of Uplay's Miiverse page, and people were just going in to Ubisoft on the day of the delay. It was wild seeing the platform of people most affected by that game's delay yelling at the stupid company that made that decision on a platform that only they use. There's some really good drawings on Miiverse, also some really bad drawings. I just miss the cringe, man. It was funny, it was pure, because it was all happening on such an isolated platform. Especially when posts were just coming from users named Alan or Nicole. Back to the flood of releases we were getting in 2014. A few months after Donkey Kong, we got Mario Kart 8. A Mario Kart game, I believe, is only surpassed by Mario Kart 8, except they added another word to the title. Oh man, that was a loaded first half of the year. Wait. That was only 2 games. E3 2014, please announce a bunch of new games.
Please welcome Nintendo President and COO Reggie
Fils-aimé.
If you say so.
Welcome to E3 Nintendo fans. And you guys thought we wouldn't have a press conference. Not my problem.
Fourth disconnected point that can go anywhere in the video. I miss post Nintendo.
Come on, Reggie, give us Mother 3!
How about this instead?
Maybe it's just a sign that they had nothing to talk about at the time. But I miss these stupid skits, dude.
DK's in, this is gonna be bananas.
Thanks, Steve from Stranger Things.
Wait, why do you say bye to just you? Oh, that could be a nice relation. Don't say that, dude. That's not funny.
I was this close to getting him to sign a Donkey Kong amiibo, and the only reason why it didn't happen was because I was going on a different day.
I am a new peripheral here, made by Mr. Miyamoto.
Forget about it. I'm just going home.
This was just ironic comedy for me, man. I found it so funny that they were just trying to do shit posts in official Nintendo videos.
I beat him! Did you hear that non-specific action figure? I beat him! I beat him!
Remember nondescript action figure? I do. It was a crime that he didn't make it into Smash in any official form.
You, non-specific action figure, did the best job.
Bill eating all of those donuts and this being an official edit is dumb.
Bill! 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 Bill!
Reggie firing Bill.
Oh, great. Bill, you're fired.
being replaced by a robot and murdering an exec. And just quitting.
Reggie, you work for Nintendo. Not anymore!
Are some of my favorite parts of the Nintendo canon.
What?
There's just so many great Reggie gifts from this era.
No. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Reggie.
Remember when they shipped Bill to like Hawaii or like a deserted island or something? But he had the 3DS that had all of like the trailers or demos on it?
The island, it spoke to me.
It was just so silly, man.
I feel just like a purple Pikmin.
God bless Reggie.
Okay, that's all the time I've got. I gotta get back to playing Animal Crossing New Leaf on my Nintendo 3DS.
As for the actual E3, it was, let me just check my notes here. It was sandwiched by Smash, had Mario Maker and Splatoon, which are pretty big games. Kirby, Yoshi, and Captain Toad covered the smaller stuff. We saw more of games we already knew about, but like looking back on this video, there was nothing really
This is the new world of Zelda. It's quite a vast world, isn't it?
So this was the first time we saw what would go on to be the greatest designed sandbox in video game history. It's going to feel so weird calling it by this name, but this was the first time we saw Zelda U. When's the last time anyone's called it that? In retrospect, it was really interesting hearing what Aonuma had to say about the game so early on. I laughed when the release year came up. After E3, we finally got the Wii Sports game the console should have launched with, and it launched with less sports than Resort had. Going through a list of Wii U games, I was shocked to already be at Hyrule Warriors in the timeline. Not just because I was like, holy shit. This was the second exclusive I bought in 2014 next to Mario Kart 8. That's crazy, especially when you factor in it would have been the third if I got Donkey Kong like I probably should have. I was just shocked to see that I was already in September 2014 and I'm about to go on the last page on Nintendo Life. There's only 3 pages of games. Hyrule Warriors is a game I sunk a lot of time into. With it, I did what feels like a lot of the thought process behind the Switch. When it came time to watch the super exciting 2014-15 Toronto Maple Leafs lose another game, I would move my Wii U as far as I could in my bedroom towards the living room so I could play it downstairs while watching the game. The distance on the gamepad wasn't the best, but it was enough to reach my living room. Other than the washroom, that's the only place I really needed the gamepad to go. I think Hyrule Warriors is perfect for what it sets out to do. It's a Warriors game that's a huge celebration of the Zelda series and has a ton of content. Don't play it on Wii U. A month later, we got Bayonetta 1 and 2, which started the time-honored tradition of releasing every Bayonetta game in time for the new one. The worst Sonic game ever came out, at least until Forces surpassed it. We finally got Watch Dogs on Wii U. Fun fact, I was actually super excited for Watch Dogs and was sad when Ubisoft delayed another game I wanted to get on Wii U. It was basically the reverse of what happened with Rayman Legends, but unlike Rayman Legends, I didn't enjoy Watch Dogs, and I barely think about it. I remember canceling my pre-order and being a little bummed that I had to swap it to 360, and then being more bummed when I played it. To get positive again, Smash for Wii U finally came out. This game means a lot to me. I have close friendships that are built upon it. Oh dude, I remember when pre-orders went up for the GameCube controller adapter. One of my buddies swung by from another high school, picked up me and my friend, and we drove down to EB Games to get the pre-order. Was the truest homie move. Thank God I got that bundle, man. Hold up. I didn't talk about Amiibo at E3. They were announced at that year's E3. You all know the issue with them. Can't put too interesting content behind them, then it's just a silly paywall. So they never really gave much in-game. But for 15 bucks, they were pretty solid figures. I always picked up one with the change I had from picking up a full-priced game. Then I noticed I had a lot. Back to Smash 4. I had so many people over on launch day, and we just played Smash into the night. It's truly my second favorite release of a Smash game. Wait, what? Despite the fact I have more attachment to Smash 4's hype cycle, I like Ultimate's launch more. When writing this script, I was surprised how many random memories I had from this era of Nintendo that I just don't have with the Switch. But I had 9 other people pre-order Ultimate on my EB Games account, and I left the store with 10. I still have that receipt. That, and having a multi-TV setup at my house because, you know, people actually own Switches, will always be more memorable to me than Smash 4's launch. I played that game for a solid 4 years, but that last year, I was only really playing it because I was excited for what was to come. But man, seeing all those insane character announcements for the first time was unreal. The only thing I really hated about Smash 4's DLC is that way too many of it was just returning characters. I think my favorite thing about Smash 4 is the esports club I ran at my high school. Me and a few others ran it, but it mostly just turned into an excuse for us to play Smash at lunch. I remember one day the teacher was gone for lunch and we still had the projector we played on. I ended up playing Mario Kart in some random ass hallway with a buddy. Hall monitor came up and was confused what we were doing and why we had the school's projector. Just explained to him that we were on spare and we were waiting for the teacher to come back so we could give him the projector. And he was chill about it. After Smash 4, there wasn't a whole lot I ended up getting on Wii U. Between it and Splatoon, I only got one Wii U game because I got my PS4. How I'm writing this video is very similar to my Halo video. Both of them have the shared low point of me getting a PS4. Watch Dogs proved to me that my dream of meeting the Wii U could only be that. So I got my PS4 on Boxing Day after I finished my shift at Future Shop. During my shift, I sold every Wii U we had. All 6. It was by far the worst selling system of the day. I would know. I was the only one they put in the video game section because I was also the only one who cared about games. Had a lady ask me if we had the GameCube controller adapter thingy that her son was asking for. Told her that some scalper came in and bought all 8 before Boxing Day. That was sad. Almost as sad as more people picking up Xbox Ones and PS4s in an hour than Wii U products I sold the entire day. No one gave a shit about my boy. Sorry, not my boy. That would be the 3DS. It's my boy's younger brother. At the time, the biggest impact that the Wii U had was Mario Kart and Smash. I would bring my Wii U from friends to play them, because I was the only one who had the console. I became a traveling salesman. It had such little appeal outside of a few games. Most people were just fine knowing a guy who had it. The Wii U is like a boat. Everybody wants to be friends with someone who has one so they have access to it, but no one wants to be the guy with the boat. The console kept whimpering once Splatoon came out, much like it did before it. Luckily, it's an incredible game. Is the online even up anymore? It was crazy how big Splatoon was, and still is. Make more IP, Nintendo, but like, don't play Splatoon on Wii U. At E3 this year, we had what might honestly be Nintendo's worst showing ever. A lot of low points for series. Star Fox Zero was the big new announcement they showed off for Wii U. That's going to be a huge oof from me, bud. Honestly, the most notable thing for me was seeing what the Shin Megami Tensei Fire Emblem crossover turned into. Okay, dark series about demons and European anime war series. What you got? What the fuck? I still don't know how this happened. I'll get to it later. Hey, it's time for another disconnected point about the Wii U that can really go anywhere. Whenever people really complain about directs nowadays, I kinda just assume they weren't around during these. This E3 was the norm. We got hyped over middling games because we just didn't have a lot to work with. I truly think there hasn't been a direct this bad in a very long time. There's just a very loud group of Nintendo fans who get incredibly upset when every game in a direct isn't a day one buy for them. Then after that horrendous E3, Iwata passed away. He was the heart and soul of the company, of the fan base. It sucks he never got to see their next big idea through and the impact that it's having. I honestly don't know what to write here. So here's the best clip of this legend.
On my business card, I am a corporate president. In my mind, I am a game developer. But in my heart, I am a gamer.
Mario Maker launched, and it's such a good game. Don't play it on Wii U. Yoshi's Woolly World kinda just came and went for me. The most notable thing about Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival is Bill saying in a direct that they're only printing this limited edition once, so you better hurry up and grab it.
The game launches initially as part of a bundle that contains 2 Amiibo figures, Isabelle and Digby. You can only get these figures at launch in the bundle, and Digby will only be in the bundle while supplies last.
I picked it up years later for $5 at my local EB Games while it was on clearance. There were 3 layers of price stickers on it, Bill. Xenoblade Chronicles X came out, and that game is way too much for me. When my buddies watched that entire survival guide series they made, He took notes, printed it out, and gave it to me when I started playing. That game was so much, I still had to look up too many things. And I dropped it when I was on chapter 11 after 70 hours. Filed chapter 11 on my goddamn time, Xenoblade X. Twilight Princess HD came out, and I was planning on 100%ing this version. Then my Wii U auto shut off while I was doing homework, and it was hours since I last saved. Needless to say, I did not 100% Twilight Princess HD. One thing that was very notable about that game for me was that it confirmed a thought I had with Wind Waker HD. I didn't think I could easily play a Zelda game without a second screen ever again. Being able to change equipment and view the map on the fly became such a perfect fit for the series. I stopped having that thought after Breath of the Wild. I think Pokémon is a game people care about. I personally don't. That weird 5-second out of context teaser was the only part of that game that ever left an impact on me. Star Fox Zero came, shot itself, then went. Sharp FE I only picked up because I heard it's a lot like Persona, and I found it used for like half price. Used it as a test to see if I would enjoy an Atlas game. Cheaper than P5 was going to be at launch anyways. How did that test go? I really enjoyed the combat. I mentally blocked out everything else. This game was truly a test of how much I could put up with for a good combat system. And that was it for me and Wii U games. Sharp FE was the last one I picked up, and I didn't finish it. In fact, the only Wii U game I finished after Splatoon was Twilight Princess HD. The last exclusive came out on October 7th, 2016. Paper Mario Color Splash. A step up from Sticker Star. So I'm told. It's still a part of the continuing bastardization of that series. 13 days later, we saw what we only knew as the NX. Breath of the Wild was running on it, along with a new 3D Mario game. There's also a port of Mario Kart 8, and a sequel to Splatoon. The clock was ticking for the Wii U. What could have been its swan song, it had to share with its little brother, who ended up taking all of the credit for it. The Wii U is the only Nintendo system, console or handheld, that has no Zelda game to call its own. After Breath of the Wild, 4 Wii U games came out, 3 of which were Just Dance. The series that supported the Wii longer than it supported the Wii U. And now we've reached the sad end to the Wii U. The console I was so excited for was kind of just there its whole life. The Switch outsold it within a year. I was checking console sales every quarter after the Switch dropped, just to see when it passed the Wii U's lifetime sales. And it did it so quickly and effortlessly. What happened with Breath of the Wild became very common for Wii U games. How many graphics have you seen showing how many Wii U games have been ported to Switch? It died having its Zelda U ripped from its hands. Slowly but surely, Nintendo reached down into its dusty grave to rob it the ability to call another game its own. It's a library of a little over 150 games, and there's not enough quality that's exclusive to it outside of Meme Run. I can't tell you the last time I played a Wii U game on Wii U. To visually show how sad this is, here are all of my Wii U games. Allow me to separate them into 3 piles. Third-party games that aren't exclusive, first-party games that were ported to Switch or have a counterpart that replaces the original in my opinion, games that are still exclusive. Allow me to remove the games that are just remakes. 3 games. Rabbids Land, which I just learned was an exclusive today. Xenoblade Chronicles X. And Nintendo Land. That's just sad. The Wii U failed. And Nintendo really dropped the ball with it. Which is kind of crazy because the 3DS was doing great. It outlived the Wii U. Before I talk about the final nail of the coffin, let me just go through the other disconnected points I didn't put anywhere. Nintendo TV was dumb. I was really hoping I would be able to sign into my provider and just watch TV on my Wii U, but then it was something else. I don't think I ever really learned what it did. The only thing I can really say about it was I was reading an article about it in the washroom at my high school. The TV button on the gamepad? Smart. I wish every controller had that. I lose my TV remote all the goddamn time, and that would just be so convenient. I have, and still do every now and then, use the gamepad as a TV remote when I can't find mine. I've probably used it more times as a TV remote than I have used it to play Wii U games in recent years. One time a glass fell off of a table and landed on the Wii U screen. Luckily it was empty, but it barely chipped it. I'll throw up a picture. I really miss when Nintendo products weren't paper. I like the edges of the discs. They have a neat texture to them. I remember the first time I held a PS4 disc, I was like, damn, this is sharp. They should put that safety thing that Nintendo has on their discs. I miss Club Nintendo. I feel like I get nothing out of my Nintendo, and there's just no contest between the two. Its online was the best out of any Nintendo system, exclusively because it had the incredibly foreign concept of being able to add people via username. There's a Like a Dragon 1 and 2 remaster port for Wii U exclusively in Japan, which gives me a conspiracy theory. I'm starting to think they lied when they said they don't think the series suits a Nintendo platform, which leaves me with two options. One, the Dragon engine doesn't work well on Switch, and it's going to take way too long to make it work. Or, it's sold poorly and they blamed the platform. It's probably a mixture of those two. One thing I miss most about that era is that the company felt fun. Not just because of the shitposts, but because we had faces to put to it. A lot of people would show up in these videos and it looked like they were having fun. Yeah, it wasn't great, but as a fan in high school at the time, the enjoyment kind of just rubbed off. Now Reggie's gone, Kid and Krista started their own thing. Hell, if it wasn't for his personal YouTube channel, I don't think we would be seeing Sakurai in videos. I don't remember the last time we saw anyone from Treehouse. And where's Doug? I feel like I only see him at the Game Awards. The only people who really show up on camera are guys from the Splatoon team. Or Yazumi? I'm pretty sure that's this guy's last name. I don't think I even know the current name of the CEO. It's just way less personal now. Before I sign off, I want to leave you with one final thought. The Wii U is the only console where I have these scattered memories centered around not playing it. As much as I loved my time with it, I think it shows how little impact it had. How else would so many of my memories just be about news? I remember my first time with the Switch, just sliding it out of the dock and it just works. I had to move my Wii U so far throughout my room so it could reach the kitchen. I remember the first time I saw the 3DS's 3D. I remembered the first time I played Wii Sports. One of my most vivid memories is playing Mario Galaxy on Christmas break while eating cookies my mom made. I don't remember the first time playing the Wii U at home. I don't remember my first time playing it with friends. Something I can say for literally every other console. Even with this current gen, I remember my first time booting up the Series X and even showing my friends just how quickly shit loaded. I remember playing Astro's Playroom on launch day and even having my friends go through it. When I think of that era of Nintendo, my mind goes to the 3DS. The success I so desperately wanted the Wii U to have, I found in the 3DS. And now, with both shops being shut down, all they will have is their legacy. The 3DS's comeback story of beating the Vita and then becoming the best handheld in my opinion. The Wii U's legacy, on the other hand, is nothing but failure. Any success it had was ripped from it and given to the Switch. It will forever be in the shadows of everything Nintendo released around it. Happy 10th birthday, Wii U. I wish things went differently. Maybe one day people will care about you as much as your diehard supporters did back then. Let's just hope you left enough of an impact to make some people nostalgic for you. Because as it is right now, I don't think you did. Do you agree? Think I'm an idiot? Comment down below. Dislike the video if you're one of the few people that own a Wii U, but not a 3DS or Switch. And subscribe for more bad content. Follow me on other platforms if you want. Take care, guys. Oh my god, it's called Mario 3D Land because the Mario Land games were on Game Boy, and it's called Mario 3D World because Super Mario World was on the console. I got it. Guys, I figured it out. It's been more than a decade, but I figured it out.